Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, class. This is Professor Coyote welcoming you back to our Let's Play of Civilization 6, our America run. Now, you remember our last video? We're starting to get ready to take on the Sumerians here. Sorry, for some reason I thought I had loaded an older save and didn't see as much. But anyway, yeah, we're getting ready to start taking on the Sumerians. We've got our warriors here that are getting ready. One of them is going to probably be, I believe these guys are going to get a promotion here soon. Sorry about that. Promotion soon. We're getting everybody moving right up in order to get that because these guys still need to move up. Or they're healing. We've got our archers getting ready. And in fact, we just need to finish building a battering ram and buy one more archer. And then we're going to take it to the Sumerians because they kind of just need it. Checking it really quickly, the Sumerians are actually still at mill strength 30, and we're at 138 already. Attacking them might get us a bit of a warmongering, which is something we haven't seen here yet. But, you know, they did attack us first, so we'll see how that goes. We're 2 turns away from our next thing in engineering and games and recreation. And 2/3 of our provinces have been converted over to Confucianism, which allows all world wonders to be provided faith and construction of synagogues. Yeah, it still lists us only as 1 follower, but that'll probably fix next turn. Let's see, in my own pantheon, we haven't gotten a great prophet yet in order to start one, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so let's get that going here. Next turn. Like Sumeria is using their prophets to be a sort of spy network, since they're still running around. I'm sure they're not liking what's looking like it's going to happen. Okay, so we got a Eureka here. Our mathematics got boosted, so that'll be good when we pick up mathematics. I believe. One of these, I believe, is getting a promotion. Nope. Guess not. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we are set up in this valley that we're going to go in this way. But we need to start establishing a secondary depending upon Sumeria's borders here. In fact, it looks like they're degrading their garrison strength because now it's down to 29. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start setting up... Aha! There we go. There is probably their remaining strength. That war cart there. Which has a 34, but they're a little bit damaged, so... I'm sorry, 29. They have a 30 base strength. As you can see here, their strength is 31, so that is probably that and probably a scout are their major issues here. So we'll actually have these guys pull up here. These guys heal a little bit more while we get the rest of the army moving up. And as I said, we're waiting on a battering ram anyway for their lack of walls, but they do have a bombardment. Actually, no, I'm sorry, they do have walls, so the battering ram will help. And then we just need another archer for bombardment. Okay. Looking over things here. Looks like Philadelphia did pop something, so we're just going to get something going. We could build a monument for culture. That's not a bad idea. They're suggesting a market or the hanging gardens improvement of faith or another trader. The trader would be good, but we do need amenities. So I think what I said was I'm going to do a settler, and that'll do in 11 turns. That way we alleviate some of Philadelphia's issues here, because they're about to go into 7. Let's see if there's any way we can fix that? Probably not. In fact, that'll... yeah. Okay. Because the best way to alleviate that would be get a luxury for them, but there's no luxuries nearby. In fact, they're only getting an amenity... They're getting it just by being near the coast. And we could do that, or we could get one of these here. We're saving our money for an archer, so Philadelphia's just going to have to wait. Okay. Wait. Oh, God. There we go. Somehow it was locked into citizen view, no matter what. Okay, so Boston here is going to come up. That's going to be population 2 in 4 turns. And Washington, as I said, we've got that battering ram, and then we'll either produce an archer there or buy one and then produce a settler. In fact, let's look really quickly to see where I think a good next settler could be, because we don't want to run into Amsterdam, although there's 2 wheats right here, so this area would probably be best. Let's see. We can move up this way, because that's Mount Kilimanjaro right there. So if we produce right, say, here, we'll run into Germany a little bit. It might be a little bit better to be here, and then we can expand out to Mount Kilimanjaro. Or we can see what's over here to the northwest. There's a good settled spot here, and here it looks like. Or we could hug the coast next to Hattusa and go a little bit further down, but then again, Hong Kong's right here. So that's going to be something to think about later, once that settler in Philadelphia gets built. Although, yeah. Because right now, basically, we could develop these 3 provinces, but all that would do is just up the food a little bit. We don't have any luxury goods nearby, except for the fish, but that's just a regular resource. Or the coffee. We do have coffee, but that's a couple of steps away, and I believe Hong Kong has at least one of them. So, looks like Philadelphia might not be too happy for a long time. Well, let's go to the next turn. Okay, so Samaria. Samaria's being goofy because they're just moving instead of healing that war cart. Oh, looks like Germany's not happy. They've got barbarians. I think they just mean this barbarian. But all I did is just sent a kind of "what are you doing with those barbarians" message. No, I'm letting them run. That's what I'm doing.
That if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Engineers believe that if it ain't broke, it doesn't have enough features yet. Scott
Adams, the writer of Dilbert, of course. So we now have an aqueduct district, which actually will help with cities if they're away from a source of fresh water. And we can build a catapult, which might actually be a little bit better than just relying on archers to bombard the city.
People who cannot find time for recreation are sooner or later to find time for illness.
All right, and with this we do have games of recreation, which allows an arena. So that does give amenities. So that might be something to think about. We might even switch out that settler for an arena just to give Philadelphia and Washington some amenities. We have the Colosseum Wonder, the Entertainment Complex, which allows further increasement of amenities, which I believe we might need to either build this first to get the arena, or it'll boost the arenas already built. And we have Insulae, which provides housing for cities with at least 2 specialty districts. So let's look at our policies really quickly. See if we need to change them. So right here we've got production towards ancient and classical melee and ranged units, which we're not really doing anything with those at the moment. So we could either lower the unit maintenance, which may not be bad, considering we got a bunch of units right now. Because these 2 are productions, and this one is just against barbarians. So you know what, let's do the conscription. Because we're only really building the 1 siege unit, so the maneuver wouldn't even help anyway. Let's see, with God King, we We got faith and gold in the capital. So that only provides the capital. So we can let's go back to the production. Faith is, I mean, we're still building a faith. Although that might go away when we confirm this. And it's only going to lower our gold by 1. So we'll see how that goes. And we're doing our influence ones. We'll keep that. And then we've got great general points, which now that we're thinking of going to a prophet or a writer, we definitely want to switch those out. So let's look at the great people. Now we're down at great prophet again, because we could, looks like the old great prophet either died or moved out. So we could actually get... So we could get Adi Shankara, or... I think there was an or, because it looked like there was multiple great prophets. Though I guess I was mistaken. Alright, so we're down towards that great prophet. We could do a great writer, but it looks like there's one... he's almost about to be taken over by another. Looks like our best bet for things are great general or great scientist. General, of course, because we were already going there. And scientist, because we've already got the scientist points anyway. This does allow for bonus healing and triggers the Eureka for a random technology in medieval or Renaissance. So that might actually be a good idea. Although, we're way far behind on getting him. Now, this is a problem that we haven't been actually going towards putting any actual points yet. So, we're a little bit lower on all of these. Like I said, this was mostly just trying to feel out how we were doing. So, you know what? Let's just go back to the El Cid. So we'll keep that going. And confirm those. Now that got changed for free, so that's perfect. Okay, now, let's look at the tree. Now they're still suggesting celestial navigation. But we've got ironworking, which helps up the swordsman, which basically would upgrade our fighters. Now granted, we have a bunch of warriors out there, and no one else seems to be actually doing that yet, so that's not such a big worry. We have mathematics, which got boosted, which will give us Petra as a wonder. Construction, which was boosted as well, which give us the terracotta army or a siege tower. And shipbuilding, it looks like. Or apprenticeship, which goes to industrial zone, and workshop or stirrups, which allows us to go to knights in 26 turns. Now, we're not quite a medieval era yet, so that's not too much of a worry. You know what, so I think we might finally... No, I don't think so, because we're not doing anything with ships yet, and that's not really... Neither of those are as big of a deal. Okay. Yeah, sorry. So let's go with ironworking. Because this is the one that can give us the most benefit really quickly. And as far as civics goes, let's look here. Theology is suggested because it gives us a temple, a wonder temple, and the scripture options. Although our holy city right now, holy site right now is kind of smoking. So let's see. Defensive tactics gives us city defensive strength and city range combat, and 100% production towards defensive buildings. And I'm guessing we get the reverse. No. We don't have an offensive tactic. We have military training, which gives a couple raiding and production towards encampment. And we have a recorded history, which gives a great library wonder or 100% campus, which we haven't been focusing too much on that. So let's go with defensive tactics, purely because we might need that in case Sumeria does have a change of heart, or Berlin decides it wants to pounce on us while we're busy kicking Sumeria in the teeth. Now, as much as I want to take out that war cart, because that would severely neuter what's left of Sumeria, right now, that would just, number one, start war immediately, and we're not ready for that yet. And number two, it wouldn't really do much other than giving them some much-needed bonus. Alright, so we're going to fortify here. We're going to keep them fortified. And we'll move the spearmen up here, because this is only going to need a couple turns for this funnel to actually do anything. And in fact, we might even have the archers go this way. Because this, to be honest, is a really well-fortified town. There's only 3 spots, at least from the south, to get into it. Which is probably why Samaria has been riding high on their own and haven't really expanded much. So, yeah, we're just going to have to see how that goes. Alright, our battering ram's going to come up in a turn. And let's just see how much buying an archer would be. Okay. Right now, buying an archer looks like it's 200 gold even. So we may not actually have the gold to buy an archer yet. Because we're sitting in 18-1 because we took off the faith. Let's see. Now, Washington does have a 7th citizen now. Which I believe still doesn't require anything above the 1 amenity they're annoyed that they don't have. So that's good to think about. They won't get to 8 until 16 more turns. So in fact, I think... Yeah, it looks like we're at maximum efficiency for production. All these little gears are filled in at Washington. And Boston pops in 3 turns. And Philly in 3 turns themselves. So we'll probably get that filled in finally to maximize them out. But this is fine because we got a settler going, and still don't know why they're going after that tile. It's just a marsh. As you can see, this marsh isn't... It produces triple food, but this, I mean, like I said a couple turns ago, I wish you could move which ones that you're going to buy. Because I would much rather they do either these 2 woods or at least the plantation. Heck, even the coast would be a little bit better because you'd get the gold. In fact, I was happy when they were doing this one, but maybe it's a randomize. I don't know. It could also be because Hong Kong's starting to spread along the river here. But anyway. So, alright, so our scout is still moving along the river here. Let's have them fortify so they can move up because they can't move up any further, it looks like. They only have the 1 AP left. Alright, our forces are pretty much getting ready. That war cart seems to be moving towards Germany. Alright, so speaking of good things, we've got our battering ram ready. Nope. Alright. Okay, so they've got missionaries and barbarians there. So that's probably the barbarians that Germany was talking about. Alright, so we'll have them move up because they're fully healed. We'll have them move up that way, and we'll have the archers move this way to meet the battering ram, who will come around on that. And we'll have our other main bulk flanking this way. So we've got all 3 passes just about covered. So if that war cart comes back, then they'll be meeting some pretty heavy resistance, no matter where they're going. So let's look at this here. Let me see. If we do that last archer, it would take 4 turns to make. They're recommending a theater square or a commercial hub. And just as I thought, we had to build the entertainment complex in order to get the arena, because it's not letting me build an arena. Or we can always do a hanging garden. But I think we're going to do that archer, because that only takes 3 turns, it looks like. So we'll have our archer good and ready to go by the time we need it. And then once this archer is up and ready to place, we might actually just start that war. So, fun times. Fun times. Okay. Speaking of times, let's move ahead in time, because as you can see, as the turns go, the years between turns get less and less. Because we first moved a couple of hundred, almost 1,000 years first turn, then a few more, then a few less, and now we only move 25 years ahead. Okay. So the border is right here, meaning that if we crossed into it, we'd start the war immediately. We're going to have to just fortify and hunker down. And in fact, we'll have these guys fortify until healed. Come here, you. And then move the other warriors up. And then heal themselves. Okay. So these archers will move this way. I'll just hunker down. And the battering ram. In fact, come on. Speed away. Okay. If you right click, you can set the best strategy to move forward. In fact, it looks like it'll take 7 turns for that battering ram to get there. So, we'll have to think about what we're going to do, because it looks like their defense is still at 29, and they haven't even bothered building any military strength. That's interesting. I mean, we're getting close to Barbarossa level in our actually our military points. So, yeah. So that's something interesting to think about. Now, keep in mind, these rankings, you still have to actually do certain things to actually get there. Like right now, it looks like 2nd overall in actual score. There's another province which is just kicking butt, but we don't know where. They're at 101. In fact, I bet you they're probably the ones that's leading both of these points. Probably there. Now we do, to do a science, you have these 3 steps you need. Building a spaceport, going to satellites, and going on another planet. And in culture, you need to have tourists. And once you get a certain number of tourists, you win. Domination is the old style of conquer every capital, and religion is you have to be the predominant for every civilization in the game. So having Confucianism, basically, where we're almost completely converted, because actually it says we're basically converted, we're 2 of 8. Meaning, Sumeria would only need another 2 converted capitals to win the game. But being as they're probably not going to exist after I beat the crap out of them, it won't be a big deal. Okay. Now, I don't really want to fight them because, I mean, we'd have the benefit, but at the same time, we'd end up sapping our damn thing. So we'll see if those guys end up attacking us. All right, so let's go. We're rocketing through the turns right now, because right now we're kind of focused on one thing, and one thing only, and that's beating the ever-loving snot out of the Sumerians. In fact, it looks like they're using that war card as sort of a scout. I wouldn't doubt if this is their entire military now. In fact, I believe it is. I believe that this might be their entire military, because it's showing a strength of 26, because they're damaged. And if we go back to their score, they only have a military strength of 23. That's kind of funny. That's what you get. That's what you get to Samaria. We were trying to be nice, but oh no, you had to go and beat the snot out of us. Speaking of snot... Oh, no, sorry. Why did I say speaking of snot? Yeah, speaking of snot, let's look at Boston. Yeah, sorry for any Bostonians. I was not implying that... Interesting. You can see the little silkworms all over these trees here. But Boston just popped to its second citizen, and now we're getting quite a bit of production out of them. In fact, yeah, we're going with the culture with the silk. We're actually doing pretty well now that Boston did, well, Boston popped. Kind of find that's a little funny. Unfortunately for them, I placed them in more of a production region than a food region, so they're going to go very slow. Unlike Philadelphia, that since they're all ahead in jungles, there's food aplenty. And like I said, as you can see here, that in fact, it's finally getting smart, and it's actually going to go down to this jungle, it looks like. Meanwhile, who are you? Oh, you're villainous. Or, actually... yeah. Valedia. Okay. Valedia's okay with me, so... let's just make sure. Because I would hate to actually go out and then suddenly Valedia is like, nope! Psych! And take me out while I'm busy farting around with the Sumerians here. Okay, so that's going to be moving on its own because I've already set its move. And I would really, really much like to take on these barbarians, but right now they're just kind of there. In fact, I've kind of hemmed in these missionaries, so... well, maybe I can attack them later. Alright, so let's fortify again, because they need a little bit of healing. And in fact, let's have these guys go this way. I would have rather gone this way, but because I've hemmed in these missionaries accidentally, well, we'll see. I mean, it's going to take a bajillion turns for me to get the... those guys there. Come on. Yeah. It's going to take 6 turns for them even to get to the border, so... yeah, this is the downside of not having very many trade routes yet. Huh, apparently Germany wants to convert me to Catholicism. They followed the road down. Huh. Fun times. We'll have that second archer ready to go. And then we'll be about ready to go to just to kind of put these 3 cities on autopilot for a little bit while we take on the Sumerians. So let's get going. I'm kind of hoping... okay. So we'll let this turn go, and then we're going to put in a break here, because we're coming up on a bit of a longer episode. And, oh, there we go. Wow, really? Really, Gilgamesh? You know what? I'm just going to ignore the request. It's not going to declare war just yet, but it is going to make him a little bit more annoyed at me. Yeah, Gilgamesh is totally going to tear my armies apart with his bare hands. His whole army of 1 war cart and 2 missionaries. Fun times. Alright. I don't... oh, good. Oddly enough, they actually moved the way I wanted them to. Alright, so we're going to have the... as I said, this is going to move here. Look at 5 turns. We're 3 turns away from those archers moving, and these archers will take forever to get there, but they'll be like backup bombard. As soon as the cart gets here, we'll declare war. And so like I said, we're going to put a pin in this, and we're going to do this as a break. We're going to have some fun getting ready to go beat up on the Sumerians. And I hope you join us next class when we have the great American-Sumerian War. With that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And class dismissed.